Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain to you variables and data types in C++. I want you to think of variables as containers that hold information. What does that mean? In real life, we create containers like these ones. These containers hold material or things for us. For example, we create a popcorn bucket to hold popcorn, and we create coffee cup to hold coffee, and we create egg basket to hold eggs for us. In programming, we can use the same concept. We create variables, and these variables act like containers to hold information or data for us. But in programming, we have different type of data. We have integer data, we have decimal data, we have characters, and we have more. If we have integer data like this one, we have to create a variable of type integer to hold this data for us. If we have decimal point like this one, 3.6, we have to create a variable of type float to hold that data for us. And a float is a variable that can hold decimal numbers. But if our data is character, we should create a variable of type char to hold that character for us. So the main message that I want you to understand is that think of variables as container that hold data or information for us. And each variable in C++ must have a type, and that type depends on what? Depends on the data that variable will hold. Now the question that we should be asking is, how can we create a variable in C++? Creating a variable in C++, or sometimes we say declaring a variable in C++, is very easy. You need two things. You need the type of the variable and you need the variable name. So in this example, I choose int as the data type and x as my variable name. And I'm assuming that my data is integer. Once I did this, that means I create a variable of type int, and that variable can hold integer data. So I can assign integer data to my variable. And this is similar to what's happening in real life. If we create a popcorn bucket, that bucket or that container can hold popcorn for us. If now we compare programming to real life, the variable x act like container, which in this case is the popcorn container. And the content of the variable is the content of that container, which is a popcorn. The type of the variable is int, and the type of our container in real life is popcorn. Now, if we have another data, and let's say that the data is decimal, we should create another variable to hold that data. Let's assume that we have a decimal data, and we want to hold that data. To hold that data, you create a variable of type float. So float is the type and y is the name of the variable. And now you can assign a decimal number to that variable. And this is similar to what's happening in real life, right? Let's say that we have coffee cup. If we have coffee cup, that one is designed to hold coffee. So we can put coffee in that coffee cup. We're not going to put popcorn in that one. Imagine that someone create a variable of type int and then assign a decimal to that variable. What's going to happen? Imagine that someone create this variable, okay? Int y. So this is variable of type int. And then he or she assign a decimal to that variable. What's going to happen in this case? Before I told you what's going to happen, just go to real life and see what's going to happen if we do the same thing. Imagine that someone create popcorn bucket, and instead of putting popcorn in that bucket, he or she put coffee in that one. What's going to happen? We may lose some of that coffee, right? Because that container, which is a popcorn bucket, is not designed to hold coffee. A similar thing is going to happen in programming. That y variable is not going to be happy, and that y variable will not hold your whole data. So you lose part of your data, which is this decimal numbers 0.61, and the variable will only hold the 3. And I'm going to show you this one in demo. What I want you to understand in this video is that you can think of variables as containers, and each variable in C++ has a type. And if you want to create a variable in C++, it's very easy. You need two things. You need the variable type and the variable name. So in my next video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to create variables in C++. I hope that you enjoy my video. Thank you for listening, and see you in another video. If you like my video, please subscribe and drop a like for this video.